Okay, welcome back to another edition of Clickbait's special look at the Wonder Woman's 80th anniversary miniature game box set. As I've informed you before, of course, I'm Chris, and this is Trevor, and he is helping me highlight all of the scenarios that come in this box. This time, we have Scenario B going on. If you missed out on Scenario A, you can, of course, look back through the channel and you can find that and see how that went. But for Scenario B, Wonder Woman and Wonder Girl found out that Circe sent Medusa and the cheetah to fight them. The villains were teleported away by magic before the heroes could find out why. Hopefully, Wonder Woman's mystical allies can lend a hand. Again, like in the first scenario, it gives us a map that we're going to play on. This time, the hero player is going to be playing Donna Troy and Mary Shazam, each at the 30 point, which is the standard character card rather than the B side. The villain player will play Circe and Silver Swan and the Cheetah, so you get 3 characters at 30 points each. Let's decide who's going to be a hero and who's going to be a villain here.
Hero.
Okay, so what do you got to do?
Well, for me to win, I have to KO 2 out of the 3 opposing characters. Any 2. Doesn't matter which ones, doesn't matter how. As long as I take out 2 of them, I'll win.
Okay, so my plan here is I have to KO Donna Troy and Mary Shazam, or KO an opposing character specifically using Circe. As in the first round that we told you about, normally when you win one of the scenarios, you're going to move on to a different scenario specified by the card. So if Trevor were to win on this, we should be proceeding to scenario D, and if I were to win this, we should be proceeding to scenario E. But since we're playing through all of the scenarios, the next video that you're going to catch is probably going to be scenario C. However, feel free if you want to watch it based on the order that we win or lose. If you find that more entertaining, by all means. So we're going to go ahead and get started on the game. All right, so to start off with, we need to roll to see who is first player. I have a 4.
I have a 7.
All right, so I get to pick the side of the map, which I'm just going to pick over here because, well, actually, no, I lost, so I get to pick the side of the map. I'm just going to choose here because I'm already over here.
The map looks fairly evenly balanced anyway in this case, and not one side showing any definitive advantages that I can tell.
So you will notice that this scenario feels a little bit unfair because, well...
Do you start with cheetah on the board?
Yep. I start with 3 characters on the board, while Trevor only starts with 2.
Okay. And then I wasn't sure how it said that, because when you read it, it just said that she appears when someone dies.
No, that's another scenario.
Oh, my bad.
But you only have to KO 2 of the 3 characters. Okay, so you get to start the turn.
Alrighty, just reviewing my character cards for their effects. Okay. Her. Double her. Alright, we'll have Mary Marvel pick up, or Mary Shazam, I should say, pick up Donna Troy. and maneuver 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to here. And we'll see what happens.
Okay. Well, I do have running shot with Silver Swan. You're in a position where line of fire is pretty well blocked. Let's see. Mary Shazam has a charge of 10, which means she can get out 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So, what I'm going to do is move carry with Silver Swan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to here, placing Circe there, and then Cheetah is going to move to there. And then I will pass turn. So I made it a little bit complicated. While he has the range to reach Silver Swan, he can't get into close combat with her because of the elevation issue.
That's right, I cannot get into close combat. That's why I don't want to get in close combat. That's what running shot is for. Three, 4. All right, Donna Troy is going to perform a running shot. 2, 3, 4. Then fire down on Silver Swan from higher elevation.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice. We're looking at a higher elevation than a lower. Huh? I did not recognize that I was on the lower elevation.
That is an 8 with a 10 for an 18.
Okay. So that will hit Silver Swan.
2 points.
Okay. I have toughness, so I only take 1. But I'm not happy about that 1 damage.
Alrighty. Okay, now, a little bit complicated here, but we're going to try it. Just because I want to put myself out of reach of Cheetah on the next turn if I can. Now it's going to put me into a little bit of a danger zone on the other side. But if this succeeds, it'll be a nice little 1-2 effect. charging 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because I'm on elevation here, I am not in adjacency with either of the enemy characters and do not have to stop until I change elevation on the next step down. At which point I will quake.
Okay.
With knockback.
Well, Quake does knock back anyway. All right. So first off, Circe has super senses. So we're going to attempt to roll the super senses. I will fail. So I take 2 damage because Quake deals 2 damage to each character.
That's the reason why I chose Quake over the normal attack of just the 3 damage she could do, because I could hit both characters with it, all adjacent characters, instead of just 1 for 3. I hit the both for 2, total of potential damage of 4 going in.
Okay. So that's your second action. So now I get to go.
I get to determine knockback first.
There is nowhere you can knock back the characters.
I can't do her this way?
No. It has to be straight path. If you were here, it would be that way. But you don't choose the direction on the knockbacks. Certain characters can, but none of these.
Alrighty. And the flight doesn't change their ability
No.
to go over elevation anymore.
No.
Okay. There used to be a time when I actually would have done extra damage for the knockback because I would have slammed into a wall.
All right. So, my turn. The first thing that I'm going to do is charge with Cheetah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. To there. On Mary Shazam. I have an 11 attack versus an 18 defense. That will hit for 3 points.
Okay. Note he's choosing not to use his Blade's Claws.
I do not have them.
Oh, you don't? I thought you had started with them. Oh, it's Super Sense starting with. That's
But
later
I
in
do
the
take
dial.
a point of damage for attacking a character with Mystics.
I have no defensive power at this time, so I take 1, 2, 3.
Okay. And now, yuck, you have invulnerable. So he's going to reduce whatever damage I do by 2. Considering that my characters right now do 2 damage, that is a little bit problematic. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to attack with Silver Swan. She has a 10 attack versus the 17 defense on Mary Shazam. That will hit. And I will use Blade's Claw's Fangs on Mary Shazam, hoping that I will do enough damage to actually do damage. And I rolled a 6. That means I do 6 damage to Mary Shazam. She reduces that by 2.
But I don't think it's going to matter in this case. I think that is a case of overkill. 1, 2, yes.
Okay.
Now you take 1 point of damage even though you KO'd her for her Mystic's ability.
Alright. So now, for my next trick, that's second action there. Well, Cheetah was damaged to the point where she gained sidestep and lost her charge, which means that as a free action she can actually use sidestep. So I'm going to go ahead and sidestep her there. And then I am actually going to move Circe. And I may end up regretting this, but we'll go ahead and 1, 2, 3, 4. Move her to there. And then I will pass turn.
Alright, well, I know I have Circe on top of me. I really need to focus on removing characters on board. So we will start with, go ahead and make another attack on Silver Swan while she's tokened out. She's not really
You
tokened
cannot.
out. Why not? Oh, I'm adjacent, that's right. So I have to fight Circe. This is going to be fun. Because even when I hit Circe, I'll take damage. Yippee skippy. Alright, Circe, incoming. Doesn't help that Circe has super senses and probability control. My odds of actually hitting her, regardless of what my die roll is, go from 50-50 down to approximately 1 out of 4. It's not an exact math I'm giving there, I'm just example. Now, I did hit, because that's an 18.
And I'm going to use probability control to make you re-roll it.
Hence the lack of 50-50 at that point. And it misses.
Okay. So, next up, I'm going to sidestep to there with Cheetah. Circe might as well. Well, is that impervious that Donna Troy has?
Yes.
That's what I thought. I have only one hope of doing damage to Donna Troy with Circe. I have to roll a crit because I have only 2 damage. So we are going to make the attack though because why not? 10 versus a 17. It's a table prob. You will hear that referred a lot. And that will miss. She gets her second action token.
You don't want to probably control that yourself for your
Yeah,
ability.
I might as well. I don't have.
Yeah, you have nothing to lose
Don't have
except
anything
the
else.
risk of a critical failure.
Okay, so still a miss. My character's clear, and I will pass turn.
Alright, and now for my amazing super secret technique. I'm going to pass because I can't do anything else.
All right. Now then, I'm starting on a lower elevation, which means I'm not adjacent. Because I fly, I can move through the square that you're in. So I am going to charge to here. Well, actually, wait. Yeah, charge to here with Silver Swan. I have a 10 attack versus your 17 defense. That will hit. I am going to use blades. So I do 4 damage. You get to roll your impervious. So if he rolls a 5 or a 6, he will take no damage.
Before that, I will be rolling, probably a mistake, but I'll be rolling for the Wonder Woman ability because I
Okay.
have to see if I avoid the attack.
Gotcha.
The Wonder Woman 88 ability is the basically super senses on a 6 only. Or if I already have super senses, I increase the roll by 1. I do not have super senses, so it's a 1 in 6 shot to just avoid the attack outright. which
And
I
you avoided.
did.
Okay, so that was my best shot to hurt you. My next best shot is with Cheetah. So 10 versus a 17. That will hit. I do not have Blade's Claws, but I do have a damage of 3.
All right. I get to check to see if I can avoid the attack again. Likelihood's not high, but it is there.
Okay.
Did not.
Did not avoid. Now you have
Now.
the Impervious.
Now I have the impervious check. While it automatically will reduce by 2 any non-penetrating damage, it has the chance to reduce by all if I make a high enough roll. Which I did not.
Okay, so you take 1 damage. And then Circe will clear, and we will pass turn.
Alrighty, now I'm fighting multiples, and I have to basically take them down one at a time as they keep swinging at me, while Circe is just taking me out with, taking out my attacks with probability control. So, I will start with attacking Silver Swan. Why, you may ask? No defensive powers. So if I can get the attack to go through, I don't have to worry about super senses negating it. One less character to fight on the board. That is an 8 with a 10, that's an 18.
So I will use probability control from Circe.
Alright, so we're attempting it again. That is an 11.
Okay. Can't do anything about that. How much damage?
2 damage.
2 damage. That KOs Silver Swan.
1 down. That is the only action I can do for the turn.
Okay. So we will start with Cheetah. I've got a 10 attack versus your 17 defense. That will hit for 3.
Checking the Wonder Woman team ability. Negative. Checking the impervious. Yes.
Okay.
All damage is ignored.
I would have to crit with Circe. So instead, I am going to roll to break away to back up. So a 6 successfully allows me to break away. I'm going to step back to there. And then I will pass turn.
Alright. Don't have a lot of options myself. So it's just press the attack and hope I get lucky. Donna Troy attacking Cheetah. Because I have to, because she's adjacent. And I don't want to waste trying to break away hoping just to get away from her and lose the action. Alright. That is still a 17. I believe that should hit.
Okay, let's see where we're at on the dial. No, that actually does not.
Oh, you full?
No, she's got 18 on the first 2 clicks.
Oh, the first 2 clicks. Okay.
Yeah.
So that does miss then, so that ties me up.
Okay. Circe will go ahead and try to roll that magical crit. Got 2 shots at it. So close, but yet so far. So we'll prob it to see if I can get it. And nope. Kept on getting half of it, but then I will clear with Cheetah.
That means it's time for my super secret special technique move again. I clear with Donna Troy.
Okay. Cheetah is going to go ahead and attack. So it's a 10 versus a 17. That will hit. In fact, okay, so we'll go through the resolutions of everything because this is going to be a little bit different. Go ahead and roll your Wonder Woman team ability.
All right, Wonder Woman team ability action first.
No.
No.
Impervious.
Impervious action next.
Yes. No damage. I take an action token, but then the actions resolve. I rolled a 10 or better. I have the Injustice League team ability, which means I can remove an action token. And then at the end of my turn, I will clear Circe and pass turn.
Alrighty. We've seen this before. We're going to see it again. Donna Troy
Probably a few times.
attacking the cheetah. What's going to happen? Who knows?
Maybe something good.
Probably
Maybe something
not.
bad.
If you know the game at all, you know odds are not actually in my favor at this moment.
That will miss by 1.
See what I mean?
Okay, so Cheetah is going to take that marvelous swing again. 10 versus 17. That will hit.
Oy vey.
And I'll be doing it without having to take an action token. Yay!
Wonder Woman ability?
Nope.
No. Defensive ability. Impervious. No.
Finally, I got a point of damage through. 1 point, because he still reduces it by 2. What are we looking at now?
An 18 defense with charge, but toughness instead of impervious.
Okay, now I have a chance of doing some damage with Circe. 10 versus an 18, you said?
Yep.
Well, that will miss, so I will use my probability control. That will hit for 2 damage, but through the toughness, you will take 1.
Wait, I still have to check.
Oh, yes.
The Wonder Woman ability.
Sorry.
I might avoid.
Nope.
Nope. Like I said, not in my favor.
All right, so that would be my turn.
Okay. Don't know why you didn't check with Cheetah this turn.
I did. She just didn't get an action token because she rolled an 11 on
Oh,
the
that's
attack.
right.
She did get an action token, but she cleared it immediately.
Okay, I thought I attacked between that, but
Nope.
all right, going
It
after
was
Cheetah.
2 turns straight that I got that.
Going after Cheetah. Negative. Critical failure. I cannot avoid this. I don't have probability control.
Nope.
So that's 1 unavoidable damage. Similar to penetrating, but you cannot use your powers to remove the damage from the effect. And I get an action token for having attempted. Like I said, not looking good for me.
Okay, so you've still got an 18 defense, though. Cheetah has a 10 attack, so we're going to go for that. That will miss. I will prob it with Circe. That will still miss. So this time you will get an action token. And then I will take an attack with Circe. 10 versus an 18. That will hit for 2 damage, but you've got toughness, so you reduce it by 1.
Unless I make my Wonder Woman roll, that is going to click me out because I am on my last click. Did not make it.
Okay. So the
Villains
villains win the scenario. All right. So the villains win. Kind of seemed unfair on the surface, but I guess, in the context of the scenarios, it makes sense that there's a bit of an advantage for the villains. On the other hand, you did have a lot of flexibility of movement with your team, right?
It was a little bit more flexible, only mildly, but the positioning of the map actually got in the way of that to a degree because I had to maneuver around it just to get close enough to make the maneuverability worthwhile. I couldn't. There's a big block in the middle that just interrupts that good mobility motion to start with. So you have to move, stop, and then I'll have to move again to try
Yeah.
to get to you. On top of it, that's on top of the level differential. So you could theoretically have just turtled in the back if you wanted and waited for me the entire time.
Of course, on the upside, on the other hand, my opening move was bad because I got confused and thought that I was on the higher elevation rather than the lower elevation.
Pay attention to those numbers, folks.
Yeah, no, numbers matter. You know, the other thing is that while you did have the movement advantage, I did have the numbers advantage.
And that can swing things, especially when you compound that with, in every case, if you notice, or not in every case, but in most cases, the villains tend to have in this, or the villains in this scenario had the dice control advantage as well.
Yes. But you know, I had the dice control advantage in the first game too. You know,
Well,
the probability control is big in this scenario, and I'm not used to it being as big as it felt like in these two games.
Well, when you only get 2 attacks per turn, a single reroll can swing the entire game.
Yeah. All right. But you know, beyond that,
That and Blade's Claws. Oh my God!
it.
One
Those-
lucky roll on that, it's entire character dead.
Yeah, that kind of
even with impervious, one lucky roll, poof.
yeah, the dials aren't terribly deep on these pieces, so yeah, Blade's Claws Fangs can kind of swing games really, really heavily. And of course, the Mystics team ability hurt both of us in this round.
That well, this round it hurt you a little bit more,
Yeah, I mean, it just
but like I said, Mary Marvel just dead with
yeah.
the Blade's Claws on after one hit to weaken her just a bit.
But like I said, this scenario would have been played had the
villains won the first
villains
round.
won the first round. Yes. So
no.
This was if the
this
heroes
was the
won.
heroes one. That's
Yeah.
right. That's correct.
Yeah, because you're going on to the villains turf now.
You're finding out what Circe's plan is.
Yes. So in the course of the scenario, be interesting to see how it plays out. If you'd like to, we are doing more videos. This one would have led to scenario E, which we will be doing at a later date. But we're going to move on to scenario C next. Hopefully you'll join us for that. That would have been the one that we would go to if the heroes did win. So
Yeah.
so yeah,
No, the heroes didn't win this time. The villains won.
if the villains had won, we would be going to scenario C. So yeah, we get confused easily. At least I do. So I hope you'll join us for the next video, and thanks for watching.